Check the mic and make sure it sound right.
And I hope the mic does sound right. Hi, I'm DKWILL. This is DKWILL. Talk about it. Let's talk a little bit about the XRP price. As expected, they've been playing around with the price. We see here it stabilizes near 239 after a 15% monthly slide. XRP is currently trading at $2.38. It is 4:30 p.m. on Thursday, the 23rd of October, as I record this video. This article says here that the XRP price forecast, it holds 239 as whales exit and institutions move in. XRP ETF countdown sparks repricing hopes. I'll probably do another video on the ETFs. For now, let's just stick with the price movement of XRP. It shows here that price compression before institutional catalyst signals the next turning point. After mentioning the intense 2-week sell-off triggered by heavy whale liquidations and macro-driven risk aversion, whale liquidations, whales selling out. Why? To compress the price. For whom? Well, beneath the surface, structured signals show that the retail exhaustion is colliding with institutional accumulation, setting the stage for a decisive move. That's the way the game is played. Retail gets so rattled and so shaken when they see things like this giant red wick here, that giant decline. But that's exactly what the institutions are hoping for. And if you'll recall in my most recent video about the EVERNORTH move, we can anticipate that they are going to buy low. Speaking of that, institutional reshaping of the XRP ecosystem. It says the network continues to evolve rapidly, with Ripple expanding its institutional foothold through key alliances and product launches. The company's role in the Federal Reserve's Faster Payments Task Force Steering Committee positions it directly within the conversation shaping the U.S. digital payments framework, a validation of its long-term strategy. Similarly, speaking of the EVERNORTH, Japanese gaming and fintech conglomerate Gumi Incorporated joined SBI Group and Ripple Labs in a private investment round for EVERNORTH, a newly established XRP treasury platform targeting institutional liquidity operations. This venture aims to expand XRP's footprint and cross-border settlements and treasury management, especially across Asia's expanding blockchain finance corridor. This corporate participation reinforces Ripple's intent to transform XRP from a speculative asset into a high utility liquidity instrument for global finance.
And if you like the content I'm providing, please make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications, and then come back for more DK Will Talk About It.
And that, my friends, is exactly how the game is played and why we can understand that reptilian lizard talk and translate it here for you. This sentence right here, triggered by heavy whale liquidations and macro-driven risk aversion beneath the surface, signals show that retail exhaustion is colliding with institutional accumulation. And when you look at the price action of XRP, when we had that big dip right here, that's what exhausts retail. Retail gets scared and fidgety and sells out. The whales sell out to push the price down, to get retail caught up in the current and flow of those whales getting sucked in. And then the institutions are sitting there waiting. You look down here at the volume. Notice the volume of sales compared to the 1, 2, 3, 4 high volume responses to those sales. So we wicket way down and get everybody scared, but notice those purchases, higher, much higher volume. The volume here was 15.63 billion on that candle. But on this candle, the volume is 18.8 billion. On this candle, the volume is 20.17 billion. On this candle, the volume is 21.337 billion. And on this candle, the volume is 20.68 billion. All of those right here in this little niche after they pushed the price down. When the price went up too high, they pushed it back down again. And that is how the game is played. And that is the retail exhaustion that collides with the institutional accumulation. And a lot of that institutional accumulation is driven by EverNorth's planned $1 billion treasury for the corporate allegation for the token. Now, here's the part that's not mentioned in this article that I mentioned in a prior video that would help. But first, let me cover this. It says it's funded by leading players. It just says PI. It should be SBI Holdings, Pantera Capital, and Kraken. Now, we know that also includes Chris Larson is behind this as well. Together, EverNorth and RLUSD form the backbone of Ripple's institutional liquidity architecture, effectively bridging traditional finance with decentralized infrastructure. And so, like I mentioned in my prior video, they are going to buy low. So we can anticipate that they were going to push the price down, and that's exactly what they did. Now, what I want to remind you of is this article here that I covered in my previous video. EverNorth, you might say to yourself, well, EverNorth hasn't even become a company yet. But EverNorth Holdings is going to merge with a special purpose acquisition company in this $1 billion deal. And that acquisition company is Armada Acquisition. That company is already functioning. And so it's kind of like a head fake, kind of. While you're waiting for EverNorth to come on board and start this $1 billion purchase of XRP tokens, Armada Acquisition, which is going to be that purchasing arm, is already at work right here, people, scooping it up. And see, that's how they play this game. But when you know how they play the game, you can anticipate it. Just like looking at the pregame reels and watching the team you're going to play against on the field. And that's where Armada Acquisition Core 2 Class A shares come into play. And just as I mentioned it on my prior video, I'm going to mention it on this video. Armada Acquisition is already in the business of establishing that treasury. Keep in mind, EverNorth is anticipated to go live in the first quarter of next year, and we're only 2 months away from ending this year. In the meantime, they are collecting that $1 billion worth of XRP, buying low. And so that presents an opportunity for those who are alert, astute, and insightful enough, and if you listen to DK, we'll talk about it, you are, to get ahead of this curve as well, because Armada Acquisition shares are only $10.27. And extended hours show that it's pumping up. And rightly, it should be. Because another thing that's brought out in this special purpose acquisition is that when EverNorth eventually trades on NASDAQ under the ticker symbol XRPN, if you own Armada Acquisition shares, each Class A share of Armada 2 that has not been redeemed for cash, in accordance with the terms of its organizational documents, will convert to Class A shares of EverNorth on a 1-to-1 basis. So what do you think an EverNorth share is going to cost when it is seeking to be the largest in holding a treasury of XRP on the planet? Well, that's all I wanted to talk about. I hope you got the message. I hope you watched to the end, and I hope you subscribe for more paradigm shifting. DK Will talk about it. I'm DK Will, and I talked about it. Have a wonderful day.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right.